check out this awesome new shirt I'm wearing. Okay, into some of the trailer and promotional image news for the week. We got a brand new spanking X-Men Apocalypse trailer for the movie that's going to be released in literally about a month, so that's cool and all. It still looks impressive. I enjoy Bryan Singer's X-Men films very much, and I love kind of the more colorful aesthetic they're going for with the new character designs. Since it takes place more in the outlandish 80s, it makes a little bit more sense. So far, Oscar Isaac looks pretty badass as Apocalypse. All the young actors inheriting roles such as Cyclops and Nightcrawler and Sansa as Jean Grey, they look very good in their roles. About the one thing I'm really not totally on board with, let's tout Mystique as the all-around champion. Don't get me wrong, I like the character of Mystique plenty, but I liked her a lot more when she was duplicitous, or when it wasn't quite clear which side of the fence she was sitting on. I think they handled that very well in First Class and a little bit in Days of Future Past. But to make her really kind of the central, almost messiah figure for like, the X-Men won't be able to do it without Mystique. Like, that doesn't sell so much as like, hey, Mystique's this all-around great character, more so than it does, hey, Jennifer Lawrence is playing Mystique, so we gotta give her this gigantic, ultimate, like, hero role. And who's to say the movie won't take that darker turn on the character? But I would have enjoyed it if Mystique, after First Class, had been portrayed as more villainous than conflicted. I would love to see really villainous Jennifer Lawrence. But that quibble aside, the one other thing that I'm not 100% on for is the Wolverine inclusion. It'll probably be Hugh Jackman, most likely, and it probably will just be like a brief little cameo. But the one thing I was really looking forward to at the start of this rebooted series of films was the idea that Wolverine wouldn't be showing up. And that's no knock against Hugh Jackman or Wolverine the character. I love Hugh Jackman. I love his portrayal of Wolverine. In all, what is it now? About all 7 to 8 movies he's had, half of those with the title X-Men. Yeah, I get it. Wolverine's popular and cool and everything like that, and I like the character just fine, but we can't go one movie without him. Like, First Class promised to be that movie. It would just focus on Xavier and Magneto and the Young Mutants, and there wouldn't be any hint of claws. But then we have to drop in a quick 30-second go fuck yourself, Eric and Charles, and then boom, Jackman gets the money there. I don't know. That last scene with Cyclops and Jean saying we had some help, and then showing Wolverine popping the claws, that smacked of, man, this is gonna have as much impact as Spider-Man showing up at the end of Civil War. And granted, Spider-Man's a character we've seen plenty of times on the big screen before too. But circumstances being, this is Spider-Man finally joining the bigger Marvel family. X-Men Apocalypse, this is Wolverine joining the bigger X-Men family that we've seen him join again and again and again. Doesn't quite pack the same emotional fanboy punch. But okay, X-Men Apocalypse looks like it'll be fun regardless. I'm looking forward to that film. Moving on over to the ectoplasmic side of things. So we got a little Administrative Professionals Day teaser trailer thing for Chris Hemsworth's Kevin from the new rebooted Ghostbusters franchise. Okay, look, I like Chris Hemsworth too, and I will admit there's some points in this little sneak peek that he is pretty funny, but I can't help but feel the more I see of the new Ghostbusters, the more my opinion is starting to shift even more into the not so flattering light. And I hate to be that way because I'm one of these people who wants to give this movie the benefit of a doubt. And I still will, probably right up until at least the first critiques come in, or when I finally sit down in the theater to see it. It has nothing to do with really the gender bending role of the movie or anything like that. It has to deal with the fact that this, more and more I see between this and the new promotional posters that champion quotes from the first teaser trailer that really weren't all that funny. It just feels like this is gonna be a very, very inferior product compared to the original one. For example, take the character of Kevin. From what we've gathered in this little sneak peek, he's kind of a doofus, kind of just there to be the eye candy for the girls, and may have a laugh here or there. And is solely there so Kristen Wiig can make goofy smiley face at him and drink his regurgitated coffee, apparently. Ha ha! Comedy! And yeah, getting back to those new promotional posters for the Ghostbusters that, again, deliver those classic "power of Patty compels you" lines. Ha ha! And the new one, I believe it's booyah, emphasis on the boo. Ha ha! Again, this is just getting back to my main kind of argument for the reason why I didn't feel this is all necessary. Ghostbusters was a diamond in the rough for that time period. Something about those specific comedic actors, that specific plot, and their just natural chemistry with each other made that a movie experience. Because believe it or not, yeah, they tried to recapture that with a sequel and it didn't go over as well as the original. And I'm not limiting it to just like Bill Murray or Dan Aykroyd or anything like that. Like, having Sigourney Weaver in that specific role, having Rick Moranis in that specific role, having Annie Potts in that specific role, making up the cast the way you did and making that plot revolve around that cast in a very particular way made it work. I can't wait to see who they kind of sign on to be the equivalent of the William Atherton dickless dude. Because you know that'll happen, because it kind of feels like this movie is going to be just kind of a hollow echo of everything you did enjoy about the original. Kate McKinnon's character really just feels like kind of a amped up hollow version of Egon. Melissa McCarthy is echoing a lot of race danceisms. Patty is playing that everyman or every person that Winston Zeddemore was. And who's to say if Kristen Wiig will actually develop some kind of personality in this by the time the movie comes around, because I'm not seeing a lot of really comedic stuff from her. She just seems really awkward all the time. There's nothing I like more than a good hour and a half of watching an awkward person. So yeah, I might be coming down a little bit rougher on this movie than I have in the past, but it's not going to kill off my curiosity just yet, because again, if it turns out to be successful, good on it, fine. If it turns out to be just gigantic ectoplasmic train wreck, good on it, because my curiosity needs to be sated when it comes to stuff like that. But booyah, emphasis on the boo, really? It also just makes me think that the movie may be fine, it's just that the marketing department for Sony sucks. Alright, that's enough. Buy the t-shirt.